What's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's installment of DappRadar Meets. As always, we'll be recording the session for people to catch up later. If you missed any of the old shows, you can get them on YouTube. Just head over to our channel where you'll find hundreds of educational and analytical videos, and it'll help you on your DApp journey. So, what's been going on this week in the world of DApps? So, more celebs have aped into NFTs. We've got Neymar, Eva Longoria, Gwyneth Paltrow, all revealed their NFTs this week, most of whom did it with the help of crypto company MoonPay. Also preparing our end of January DApp industry report, and Pedro and Boris are going to go through that tomorrow on the Discord AMA. So tomorrow, 4 p.m. UTC, find out all the juicy insight from January and what's been happening in the world of DApps. What else this week? DappRadar is now tracking dApps on Moonbeam, Moonriver, and also Phantom have been integrated today. The DappRadar rankings basically let users analyze dApps, attract which ones attract the most trading volume, unique user wallets, or process the most transactions through the rankings. This way, everybody can gain insight into which dApps and tokens are building solid communities and value on their respective blockchains. And finally, DappRadar has also now launched the first phase of integrating the Polygon blockchain into our portfolio tracker. So anybody can now use the portfolio tracker to look into their token holdings and DeFi positions of a particular wallet address. I just want to reiterate how useful the DappRadar portfolio tracker is. I personally have got assets spread across Polygon, Binance, and Ethereum, and other chains. And now I can pull all of that together in one place, as well as the really cool NFT valuator and viewing tools. It's a really nice visual representation of what you hold, as well as the financial side as well. So I won't bang on about it anymore. Head over to DappRadar, connect your wallet, and see what you guys think. So without further ado, on to this week's show. Every week I sit down with the brightest minds behind the leading protocols, blockchain games, NFT projects, and DeFi apps. We dig in, we get a better idea of what's in store for them. Most importantly, we give all of you guys a chance to ask your difficult questions. And looking in the audience today, it's looking pretty strong. And another thing I'm loving is the amount of avatars I'm seeing out there. So props to the people using their NFT avatars. So this week, we welcome Diane. She's the business development manager from Alpaca Finance. What's up, Diane? How you doing today?
Hi, Ian. I'm doing great. How
Awesome.
about you?
I'm doing much better now. We're in the podcast. I've been kind of on standby today, waiting for this. So Alpaca is something that I'm quite familiar with. I've written quite a few articles about Alpaca over the time. And I think it's quite important to put out there right at the beginning. Today, we're not talking to a new project, relatively speaking. Alpaca's been in the game quite a long time. They're quite established, and they've been serving the DApp community on Binance for quite a while now. So also today, and we always let you ask your questions, the Alpaca team have created 10 exclusive NFTs drawn up by them. And they are the prizes today for asking questions. So as I say, we've got 10 available. And as I always also say, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Just don't ask it 5 times. And also keep a listen out for other people's questions so you can think of a new one when it's your time to get up on the stage. If you want to come and ask your questions, I'll start off with a bit of a chat with Diane. Raise your hand, I'll put you up on the stage, and you can throw your questions at Diane. So quickly, just before we dive in, let me give you a quick 411 on Alpaca. The official spiel goes like this. Alpaca is the first leverage yield farming protocol built on Binance Smart Chain, and it's a fair launch project with no pre-sale and no investors. So, Diane, it sounds intriguing. Let's jump straight into the elevator pitch. I want you to pretend that you're stuck in an elevator with me just for a moment, not for the whole day, don't worry. I've got my VC hat on, and I want you to impress me and tell me about Alpaca in this short space of time that we have.
All right, sure. So, in a very short term, Alpaca Finance is the largest lending protocol, allowing leverage yield farming on BSC. So, our TVL in general is about more than 1 billion to around 1.3 billion. So, in leverage yield farming, generally there are two sides. There are borrowers and lenders. So, lender can stake their tokens such as BNB, ETH, BTC, BUSD, etc. into the lending pools to earn safe and stable yields. While for borrowers, they can borrow token from the lending pools, typically at 3x leverage. This means if you deposit $1 into Alpaca, you can borrow up to $2. Some pools offer up to 6 leverage. So this is actually a very different model to the traditional lending protocol in crypto, where mostly offer collateralized loans for borrowers. At Alpaca Finance, we offer under collateralized loans, meaning you deposit $1 and you can borrow up to $5. So for under collateralized loans, borrowers are naturally willing to pay higher interest as they can earn more on leverage. This is how Alpaca lending pool can offer such high APY compared to other protocols such as Aave or Venus. So what do borrowers do with these tokens? They can increase their farming position on a DEX to earn multiply farming yields. So far, Alpaca has integrated with Farm from PancakeSwap and MDEX. So, for example, if I have 1,000 worth of BNB, instead of staking it into a lending pool to earn 5 to 10% APY, I can deposit them in Alpaca, BNB, and BUSD farm and borrow $1,000 in BUSD for 2x leverage and farm the BNB and BUSD pair. So in this way, I'm earning 2x farming yields or 100 APY on my 1,000 in BNB deposit, which is 10 times higher than the 10% if I were just taking in a lending pool. So yeah, that's pretty much about Alpaca.
Pretty much. Diane, that was amazing. I know you must have been rehearsing. That was great. So as the audience can probably tell, Alpaca Finance is not the most simplistic of dApps. It's not the most simplistic of platforms, which is why we have Diane here today. That is why we are going to break this open and try and break it down into more understandable chunks. So, Diane, what problems are you looking to solve in the industry currently? So let's start at the beginning. One word I heard a few times mentioned there is leverage. So obviously leverage plays a big part in the Alpaca system. What problems did you identify that you then wanted to solve with Alpaca? Let's start there.
Okay, so what the problem that we solve is actually capital efficiency. So we allow under collateralized loans, but maintaining the safety of the lender by not allowing those funds to be withdrawn from our platform. So in this way, Alpaca offer much better capital efficiency than other platform. This provide us the ability to offer by far the highest APY in the market for both lenders and borrowers. This is our unique competitive advantage.
All right, cool. So you're looking to solve the problem of giving users the opportunity to leverage the assets that they have to increase their positions in your platform to make a higher yield. Now, obviously, these things come with their risks attached as well. So let's not be naive. Let's talk about the risks just ever so quickly, just to put into perspective that this isn't some sort of win-win situation, that, you know, you need to do your research and you need to be careful. So how can customers potentially lose on Alpaca, Diane? Not saying that they do, just that we should make note of that.
Okay, in terms of risk, of course, it involves risks such as there is like impermanent loss, there is a bad debt, or there is a smart contract issue. But we actually regard it as one of the most secure platform because we have implemented multi-layer security process. One of which is the most significant is we already have 17 security audits from the leading audit firms. So it's probably one of the highest on BSC.
Okay.
And also we implemented 24-hour time locks, meaning that if there is any change to our contract, it will take 24 hours to go in effect. So meaning that users have ample time to withdraw their fund before any change made to be finalized.
Okay.
And also our code is open source, meaning that we have a professional bug bounty program with Iminfi.
Okay, amazing. So the platform offers quite a few different services. If you click on Alpaca Finance, you'll land on the homepage, and on the left-hand side, you'll see four different core services there. So let's go through the services, Diane. Let's not so quickly actually. Let's talk about lending. So first on the list of your services is lending. Can we quickly explain how lending works with Alpaca and why it's a good thing?
Okay, so if you have token rather than just sitting on an exchange, you can actually deposit them into the lending part of Alpaca. This is actually a very safe and stable method to earn interest on top of your token. So is almost has no risk,
Okay.
has no without any kind of risk like a impermanent loss. Is just earning token, like you deposit your token into the lending, and somebody as the borrower will borrow the token and pay the interest.
And you receive some rewards there for sort of supplying your platform with liquidity, as it were. Okay, cool. That makes perfect sense. Grazing. Talk to me about grazing. To me, sounds like pools, but you gave it a cool name. Is that right?
Yes. So actually, grazing range, when you stake into our governance vault, aside than earning a substantial amount of Alpaca, you will also earn token from our project partner. Uh, Typically, our project partner, there are ranging from 3 to 10 partners in a month. So you get an added bonus from the partner, which is pretty great, as you can learn about what other projects are doing.
This has become a very standard way of sort of marketing in the crypto world, as we see that there's no better way to get people interested in your project than by putting tokens in their hands. They are then invested to some degree and interested more in the platform. So we've seen that as a common way to do things. So that makes perfect sense. Farming, Diane, pretty standard stuff, I imagine.
Uh, Farming. As farming is in Alpaca, so you can do a normal yield farming, which if you put the leverage into 1x,
Mhm.
but you can also leverage your farming position by borrowing tokens with after you deposit collateral. So typically, in general, you can do leverage into 3x. Some pools offer up to 6x,
Okay.
vastly multiplying your position.
And is this the system whereby on Alpaca, because you have a bit of a unique system on Alpaca, whereby when you're providing liquidity normally, you provide two tokens, one and then another of equal weighting to create your liquidity pair. On Alpaca, it's actually possible to provide one token, if I've understood correctly, and then leverage that token to lend to then create a pair. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So yeah. So instead of a normal yield farming where you need to provide the two tokens to create a liquidity pools and
Mhm.
which converted into 50-50, but in
Yep.
Alpaca you can provide one of the token and then you borrow another token.
Okay, so if the token that the one that you stake, not stake, the token that you wish to put in the pool, so if that token goes
Mm-hmm.
up in value, the debt stays the same because you borrowed a certain amount of the other token. So in that situation, you leverage that and you borrow the other token in the pool against your first token. So if it goes up, the debt stays the same and the user gets a yield, right? And the user can exit the position with more tokens than they started with, and that seems to make quite a lot of sense to me in that position. But can I just confirm, are you the only platform that offer this system currently?
Well, our code is open source, so
Ah,
actually, there are other leverage yield farming protocol out there as well, but we are the largest in terms of TVL.
yeah.
Because in terms of safety, we are actually one of the most secure platform. So user trust us, and actually in terms of the TVL for leverage yield farming, we are the largest.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, you mentioned total value locked there, and I'm sure most people understand why that's an important metric for for a protocol such as Alpaca. The total value locked in Alpaca represents the total amount of funds that is locked in the smart contracts of Alpaca, which fundamentally, having this high value of nearly 700 million, gives them quite a large amount of liquidity, which is what is needed on a decentralized exchange. There may be copies, but they don't have the same sort of clout as what Alpaca has. Okay, cool. So we went through farming. And then next on the list, I see AUSD, which I presume is the Alpaca stablecoin, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. So you guys
So
have got your own stablecoin to facilitate easy trading, or what's the motivation here?
so actually, it's in line with the Alpaca vision, which is to provide a greater capital efficiency. So with Alpaca USD stablecoin, you can it's over collateralized. When you lend your token, you can borrow a USD, so it maximize your profit. You borrow your token, you borrow, and then you can use it to provide liquidity pool in AUSD BUSD, or you can loop it again multiple times and then sell it into like another stable coin or another crypto asset, and then provide it for something else. You want to stake it, you want to farm it again. So is to provide a greater capital efficiency.
Yeah. And it builds the ecosystem so that you're capturing value inside your protocol as well. So the next one on the list I see is portfolio, which I had not seen. So I'm just going to click that quickly. Tell me about portfolio. Is this something new, or is this just individuals' positions?
It's just individual position. Actually, it's an improved UI. We add the portfolio section where you can track your own portfolio there.
Okay,
So you
cool.
can see your profit and loss. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So you provide the means to actually keep track of your investments, which is good. And then next on the list, we have Alpaca. What's Alpaca?
Alpaca, we just launched in December. Is the governance vault. So when you stake your Alpaca into our governance vault, it will convert it into Alpaca. You can lock for the duration up to your preference. In general, right now the user locks up to 36 weeks.
Okay.
So one Alpaca represent one vote.
Okay, cool. Staking next on the list. Staking is your standard. Are you staking just Alpaca tokens here, or you have options for all Binance tokens here?
Pretty much all Binance token, the major crypto assets like BNB, ETH, BTC, and stable coins.
Okay. And Alpes is last on the list, and next to it, it says claim. Well, that's quite exciting. Tell me about Alpes.
So Alpi we just launched in October last year. It's our NFT. It's our privilege to our play to earn games.
Ooh.
Which we raised 6.3 million for the sale of NFT. And it's the Genesis collection. It consists of 10,000 unique hand-drawn pieces that will serve as a hero in our upcoming play-to-earn games.
Very cool. Very cool. That I actually have another question later on about this, so I'll leave it for later, and we'll talk about NFTs a little bit later on. Okay, thank you, Diane. That's really cool. You've basically outlined what Alpaca is, what services you offer, and how it works to some level as well. And I just now want to talk about how, because we talked about you have your competitors, as we all do, and there are other services out there like Aave and Celsius. So how are you guys different from platforms like those ones, and what can Alpaca users expect on Alpaca that they don't get anywhere else?
Okay, so a high percentage of our Alpaca token are distributed to our user. So if you look at our tokenomics, the teams only take 8.7%. There are no investor. This is really the opposite of the vast majority of the project that give all their profit to the team, VC, and leaving very little to regular user. So as the result of being community owned, our APY remains high from this distribution. And like you mentioned already, unlike other major DeFi lending platform, Alpaca focus on under collateralized loan. We are the largest lending protocol out there with TVL more than 1 billion. This gives us a major competitive advantage because under collateralized loan have better capital efficiency.
Yep.
And this can offer higher APY to lenders and borrowers.
Okay.
And also our token emission decrease. So our base APY just from lending platform itself will remain higher, making us more competitive in the long term. So with new project can only compete with our APY temporarily because through higher token emission. However, new projects are usually also less safe and more likely to rug pull or get exploited.
I think that's an important point, that whilst many of the projects out there are open source, they can be sort of copied and pasted. They don't have the full suite of services and products that most have. So it's an important point to put out there, definitely. Okay, so by creating more capital efficiency, you guys are able to offer higher APYs to the users, which is a good thing. That's what they want to hear about. So gathering high APYs obviously leads to rewards and gaining income. But how do you guys protect your users? You're a decentralized exchange, so you're not like one of these behemoth entities. You're relying on your community to provide liquidity. So tell us a few ways that how should your users feel protected? What steps have you taken?
So aside that having multiple security audits, which we already have 17, we also didn't allow flash loans.
Mhm.
So Alpaca doesn't allow that. So you will be safe from all such attack. And now for price manipulation or flash liquidation, Alpaca integrates chain link price feeds.
Okay.
And also we have an in-house Oracle guards which prevent those.
Okay. And then if we talk, when we were talking about the grazing or liquidity provision earlier, how is that secured in the Alpaca system? How is that? How are those assets secured?
So our security checks for partner is pretty thorough. Besides making sure they have code audits, we also do a qualitative audits ourselves, which we call a security scorecard, which covers security issue that not covered in traditional audits within topics such as tokenomics, third-party risk, and internal security process. We publish this result within every grazing range announcement that we do.
Okay, nice. Awesome. Okay. So that leads me on to kind of thinking about just kind of summing up what Alpaca can do for a person. So it sounds like the main difference is that you don't need the equal amounts of liquidity. That sounds pretty cool. You can leverage your initial token and then you can grab the other side of it from your leverage, which is great. But what happens if the gamble doesn't work out for people who are leveraging? Because leveraging is quite a scary prospect. Obviously, you're borrowing money. You have to be quite certain about what it is you're investing in. And so what happens when the gamble doesn't work out? How do those wrecked people, what happens with their revenue, basically? Does that go to the people who are being successful?
Mm, I'm sorry, could you repeat your question again?
Yeah, like when you're in the position of leveraging, so you're in the liquidity pool and you're leveraging your initial token. And if as we said, if it goes up, then the debt stays the same. What happens if it goes down?
If it goes down, you actually can short your token as well. So leverage is a very powerful tool if you use it properly.
Yeah.
So if you feel bullish about a token, you can long it. But if you feel like now you feel a bit bearish about the crypto situation, you can also short it. So the token that you borrow more than 2x, you actually short the tokens. And if you feel you just don't want to use any kind of leverage, so feel free to just use 1x leverage, so you have a less exposure to the market.
Got it. That makes good sense. Okay, thank you for clearing that up. All right, Diane, cool. We've been through a few aspects of Alpaca. What I'm going to do now is jump over to the audience and get some of their questions. And yeah, let's start with Santity. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
Hey, man. What's your
Yeah. How much can one lend out to be able to borrow $1,000?
Sorry, repeat that.
How much? Yeah.
How much can one lend out in the Alpaca Finance platform to be able to borrow $1,000? Do you hear me? Do you understand me?
We just don't understand the first bit. Sorry, Santity. The first bit of the question, we understand you're asking how to borrow 1,000 from Alpaca. Are you asking how much you would need to input to borrow such an amount?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Is that the question? Okay, Diane.
Yeah. That's the question.
Cool.
Okay, so you can borrow up to 6x leverage, meaning that you can put like $150 to around 150, 170. I'm just calculating right now in my mind. and then you can borrow 5 times to that, so it will equal almost to 1,000 USD. If you just put a capital around 160 USD, and then you borrow 5 times from that.
Okay. Does the Alpaca they have it on Ethereum network? On Ethereum network, is it only on BSC network?
Currently, we are only on BSC, but we are moving to Phantom next week.
Ooh,
Okay, Phantom
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
next week.
Interesting. So you'll be able to bridge
Yes.
tokens across to Phantom at some point, Diane, and operate from there.
Yes, yeah, we are bridging it currently.
Very nice.
Okay.
Juicy
Okay.
information.
It will be up.
Thank you, Santity. Good question. Just gonna.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries, man. Sling. We had some problems last week. Are you there this week? Oh no. Grizzling seems to be having ongoing microphone issues. Grizzling, do me a favor. If you can hear me, send your question to Cornelia. I'll ask it. All right. Next, Grizz. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Hey, man. What's your question?
I saw somewhere in your blog that governance vote part 2 is starting. Can you tell us more about what it entails and its benefits?
Okay, the benefit of our governance vault.
Yes.
So when you stake in our governance vault, you will earn a substantial amount of Alpaca, and also a token from our project partners. The APY is pretty significant, as you can see right now. It's around 40% APY, and also it will allow you to vote on the future of Alpaca. So when there is a proposal, the committee will discuss about it, and your ex Alpaca will grant you one X Alpaca equal to 1 vote. So it will give you the right to decide the future of Alpaca. So that is one of the advantages of our governance vault.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Grizz. Nice question.
That's
Okay, let's move on. Guys, can I just remind everyone, when I do put you on the stage, if you put your microphones on mutes, that would really help us, so avoiding any feedback. Turka, are you there?
Hey Ian, can you hear me?
We can hear you. What's your question, man?
I'm using Alpaca for a year, but I got a question about farming.
Shoot, man.
Alpaca using PancakeSwap and MDEX options in farming, but what happens if MDEX or PancakeSwap got hacked? Not Alpaca Finance, the third parties.
Interesting.
Okay, so what happened if they got hacked? Before we decided to integrate a DEX, we already done our due diligence process. So we make sure that the risk is at least the very least. As you may be aware already, Pancake is the face of BSC, is the largest DEX on BSC networks. It has TVL like around currently 3 to 4 billions. So there is always risk in investing. We cannot completely avoid that, but we have tried to minimize by selecting a well-established DEX to be integrated.
Good question, Turka. And yeah, just to back that, PancakeSwap is a leading decentralized exchange, the leading exchange on Binance. In fact, it's putting through about 1 million active wallets a month. So yeah. Next question, who should we jump to? El Patron, just because I like your name.
Hello.
Hey man, what's your question?
Can you hear?
We can.
Okay. Question: do you have a POP or OAT for this AMA?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
I will ask that, do you offer POP or OAT for this AMA? Is there any proof of presence, proof of attendance point?
Oh, the proof of attendance for this AMA. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Like a post?
Yeah.
No, not for this AMA. No, we are giving. We have 10 NFTs that we're giving away for people who ask questions. So do you have a question for Diane?
No, I don't have a question. I like.
Right. Okay. Finball, do you have a question? All right.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay. I want to ask Diane.
Sure.
I heard Alpi is a new play-to-earn by Alpaca. Is it on a prior release for 2022 or is just a short-term strategy for 2022? That's it. Hello?
Is it a short-term strategy for 2022? That was your question?
Yes, it's a long-term plan or just testing new water. That's
Okay.
what I'm trying to ask.
Okay. So actually, we've been getting into the metaverse since early last year before people actually start calling it metaverse. We have been creating NFT for the attendance, for the stakers long before into the middle year where NFT was booming like during the last year, the play to earn games, the NFT all sort of getting the attention. We've been creating NFT for that. So when we decided to start into developing our games during the summer last year, it was not like just like okay, everyone is getting into play to earn games, and also we want to test the water. We want to get a piece of pie of it, but it's actually a real long-term strategy into developing an Alpaca Finance umbrella as the one brand Alpaca, because we realized that being into DeFi and especially in a leverage yield farming, our market is quite niche. Hearing about leverage, people usually get intimidated. Yield farming itself is already is a difficult concept where you get impermanent loss, where is the token goes, the value up and down between the 50%.
Yeah.
And if you add leverage into that, our market is quite niche. So that's why we want to branch out into play to earn game, which have more reach into wider audience, because it's easier to go to tap into the masses. And then from our play to earn and NFT game, we plan to deploy a certain mechanism where we can send them back into our DeFi. So it's a real synergy, not just building play to earn game when everything is hype about play to earn, but it's to support our business pillar as well.
Okay. Thank you for the answer.
Really good question. Thank you, Finball. Excellent answer as well, Diane. I think it's quite important to talk about that for a second, in that what you're saying makes perfect sense. That your audience as Alpaca is not small, but quite a niche audience of people who want to leverage, whereas the play to earn audience is quite different. So yeah, creating a full circle there makes good logical sense. Who's next? P Thiongo. I need to unmute you. P.
Yeah, hello.
Mate. What's your question?
How you guys doing?
We're doing well, man.
Awesome. So my initial question was answered since somebody else asked it, which was about your multi-chain support. But you also mentioned about how the largest provider in terms of TVL on the BSC platform. So my second question would be, in terms of other competitors on different chains, how would you rank in such a case? And also, I'd ask about your roadmap. You just mentioned you will offer cross-chain support in the future. That is, I think, Q1 of 2022, but you didn't really mention which chains will be supported. you just mentioned Phantom right now, and you didn't mention any other chains. You just said multi-chain support. So which chains apart from Phantom will you include in your multi-chain support, and also what's the timeline for that, and also the ranking compared to other competitors on different chains?
All right, cool. So 2 questions, Diane. You got those, yeah?
Okay, so you are asking about, aside from Phantom, where are we going also? The other chain?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So yeah, we go to Phantom because it's gaining a lot of hype right now, and also the ecosystem offer a fair token incentive. It allows not only to gain more TVL but also gaining more user in each network. There is a set of a new user base, set of a new capital as well. And aside than that, what we've been really considering is on Ethereum as well. The reason we have deployed into Ethereum yet, because as we know that the gas fee is pretty high there. So we are still looking on it. It's pretty much maybe nearer to the when the ZK roll up will be ups lift, and we will consider into moving there as well.
Okay. Nice question. Nice question. And then I think the other part of the question, Diane, he was asking about the TVL of Alpaca Finance, which currently stands at, what's your TVL right now? About 950 million, something like that. Is that right? 770 million. So just quickly, I'll help you out here a little bit. Other protocols with TVL around the same figure. We're looking at Radium on Solana. We're looking at Marinade on Solana as well. Yeah, so it's a very competitive TVL figure. Okay, cool. I got the question from Grizzling, Diane. He's texted that question over to Cornelia, who has sent it to me. So give me 1 second, and I'll ask you that. So this is from Grizzling. It's quite a tricky question, Diane, so prepare yourself. I can see from your website that you have undergone 17 security audits, which is phenomenal. With DeFi, even that is perhaps not enough. In case of any security hack or issues that cause the shortfall, is there any insurance plan in place for Alpaca to cover losses?
Yes. So we have partnered with Nexus and Insurance to cover the losses. So you can pay premium to cover your losses. And also in the future, we will introduce Alpaca insurance plans. It will also cover the shortfall for the aforementioned issue that you mentioned.
Okay, nice. Good question, Grizzling, and a good answer from Diane. Okay, cool. Let's move on to more people in the audience. Let's take a question from RLO. Are you there?
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Thanks for the event. I just want to ask this question. What is the most unique feature of your platform?
The most unique feature of our platform, I would say, like, you can be profitable during the bear market. In most protocol, yield farming, in DeFi protocol, you can only be profitable during the bull market because of the APY you earn, and then your token keep going higher and higher. But during the bear market, how can you be profitable if you are still doing yield farming? And that's where Alpaca is have the significant role in it, that you can still be profitable during the market because you can short your token and earn yield farm interest while you are shorting your token. So that is a pretty unique feature.
Thank you.
Thanks, RLO. Good question. I've got a question again from the audience. So, Diane, one of the written questions coming in for you now. So, last year, Alpaca showed tremendous growth. What strategies do you have in place for this year to take on the kind of crypto winter?
So what strategy do we have this year? So aside than going multi-chain to gain to expand horizontally, gain more new user base, going multi-chain, we also going to introduce our innovative product. One of is automated vault strategy. Is a delta neutral position strategy that when you open this when you stake into this vault, it actually farm the position in long and short position simultaneously. So based on our research, like during Q4 last year, we study about it. Opening this vault will earn you 40% of APY, which is pretty significant during the bear market. So this vault will go live in end of February. So one of our strategy is developing and launching this type of product.
Nice. Good answer, Diane. Great question again. Let's take a question from Big Baldy / prospectors.io.
Hi.
Yeah, man. You work for Prospectors? With them?
I'm a mob there.
Cool, man. Nice. All right, dude. What's your question?
Okay, so as far as you're getting into the GameFi and releasing these NFTs into games, are you creating your own games, or are you working with other developers to create a multitude of games?
We are developing in-house.
All of it in-house?
Yes. So we have a separated team. We have hired our game developers. It's in-house team.
Okay, and then you were just speaking about both shorting and longing at the same time, and so I'm not super familiar with that, but let me give you an example. Say I come in with $1,000. I want to get my leverage, so I could stake or put $2,000 in the middle position, and then 2,000 long, 2,000 short. Which would break me even, right?
Yes, correct.
And then, so with me breaking even on that, are there any additional rewards that would come to me?
Yes, the yield farming reward. So before we introduce this automated vault, you have to do it manually. You can already now do it by yourself. If you go to the farming section, you can open two positions. So one you open long position, and the other one you open short position. So each farming will give you APY, and then you need to rebalance it yourself in order to minimize your market exposure. So your long exposure, if it's go to kill your liquidation threshold, and then you need to rebalance, and then your short position in order to maintain that is a net exposure, and then you still earning on that. And what we are going to do is that we are going to deploy an automated vault, so you don't have to do anything. Instead of, if you have 1,000, you deploy 500 into long, 500 into short. You deploy 1,000 into this automated vault, and it's not like you're giving your money, let's say, like to hedge fund manager. Hey, I give you 1,000, and then can you put it into work, like earning a good interest on top of that. But this is like we are working with smart contracts, so it will be automatically to work in the behind process to earn you profits into two different position. One is the long position, and the other one is the short position. Is that answer your question?
Yeah, and so that would just limit my loss to impermanent loss.
Correct.
Or does
Yes,
that take away impermanent loss as well?
Almost no impermanent loss. It's very low risk. It's like you are farming stablecoin. It's a game changer.
Great.
It's actually high APY, but very low risk, because we rebalance it like every hours.
Awesome. I can't wait to get in.
I was just going to say, you're going to run off now and crack on. Thank you, Big Baldy. That was a wicked.
I'll be right back.
Just hold my drink. Great question. Thank you so much. Really good. Okay. Let's. I've got a question from another written question, which is around NFTs. So I'm just going to quickly fire that one across. 1 second. I recently found out that Alpaca issued a lot of NFTs. They look cute. I wonder what use they are. The question he's asking is, what use will these NFTs have? Which we've touched on. Is it just on the gaming side, or are you hoping that these will gather value?
So not only on the gaming side, one of the most significant utility is that if you have one LPs, you can increase your leverage on the finance website.
Ooh.
So right now, if the maximum leverage is 3x, you can increase 50% of it into 4.5x.
Oh wow.
That's yeah.
Okay, nice.
That's one of the utilities.
Are there any plans in that? This is a question for me, actually, Diane. Are there any plans in the future to I've seen other platforms kind of using NFTs as, I suppose it's what you've just said, really. Any other ways that you're going to allow users to leverage the value of their NFT within Alpaca? Like, can they feasibly take a loan against it or something like this? Is there any ideas around that?
At the moment, we don't have such plans.
Okay, cool. No problem. No problem. All right, let's take a question from Sparry W. Are you there?
Yeah, it's just Sparrow.
Sorry.
I have a couple questions. Since I'm in the US, Binance has been restricted. Is this offered on Binance.us as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, well, Binance has faced a lot of regulatory issues. I don't have access to the regular Binance blockchain. In the United States, we have to go through Binance.us or go through a VPN. So does this work on Binance.us for starters?
Work is a decentralized finance. It's a DApp. How does it work with Binance US?
Well, okay, I'll just skip that.
No,
question.
wait. I understand your question. What you're asking is you can't access Binance Smart Chain dApps. Is that what you're saying? You can't access Binance Smart Chain dApps. Alpaca is a Binance Smart Chain dApp. What he's asking, Diane, is there a way around that or a way to access your dApp from the United States? Because currently he's not able to access Binance Smart Chain. So the answer is probably no for the time being, I guess.
So because in the US, we only have access to Binance.us. We don't have access to the regular Binance Smart Chain unless we go through a VPN and then reroute our servers, but then it just becomes difficult. Second question I had is with your stablecoin. You said that it was over collateralized. What is it over collateralized with? What are you backing up your stablecoin with?
We back it up with the crypto assets, the major crypto assets.
Okay, what kind of crypto assets? Are we talking investments? Are we talking tokens, or are we talking yields and farms and such?
The tokens like BTC, ETH, BNB.
Okay. Now, you also mentioned that you could have an under collateralized loan. You put up $1 and get $5 back. What happens in a cascading liquidation event where the market tanks? How does your over collateralized stablecoin affect your under collateralized loans?
It's a completely separate assets, where in the under collateralized loans, you are talking about the lending and the borrowing sides. It's completely different from our stable coin, AUSD. So you're asking about cascading liquidation, with we have Alpaca guard that prevent that. When market weak very fast, it will freeze all the positions, which already happened the last time when the market crashed in May. The Alpaca guard were activated, so all sort of when the on-chain price deviate more than 10%, all the position were frozen. So it will protect you from those kind of flash liquidation. and is completely different from the AUSD, which is a different smart contracts, a different kind of another ballgame that is not related to the lending and borrowing section.
Okay. But if you're using your stable coin as collateral, how is that different from your regular markets?
Using stablecoin, it is a separate fund. It's not from the lending from the platform. It's we deploy another 30 millions to back up our stablecoin. It is not from the lending platform.
Okay, so you have assets on hold
Yes,
to guarantee your stablecoin in an over collateralized market.
yes, that's true.
Okay, all right. Those are all my questions. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
man. Good questions.
Thank you.
Good questions. Okay, who's next? Dio.
Hello. Can you
We
hear me?
can.
Okay. My question is, there are two options that I am interested in, which are grazing and staking. So, like, how would you recommend me to use one of these options? Like, I think it's quite the same. Like, you put your money to the pool and you get reward, but in terms of grazing, you will get like the tokens from Alpaca's partners, right? So like, how would you recommend like amateur people who just get into the crypto world to use this pool?
Okay. It seems that you are new to the platform, so I think you are asking about a simple strategy how to maximize your profits in a simple way. Is that your question?
Yes. By using like staking or grazing, because I know that like for new people, using farming might be a bit like scary for them. So I raise these two options, grazing and staking.
Okay, so to answer your question, yeah, the best way is you stake your Alpaca token into the lending section. So and then from that you stake into our governance vault. From there you can earn X Alpaca token and also from the grazing range project partner token as well. So the best way for you to start is to stake into our governance vault. Just take Alpaca there. It's earning like 40% APY currently, where you can get token not only Alpaca but also token from the project partners.
Cool. Good answer. I think it can be quite scary for newbies jumping into platforms like this. So that question was really good because sometimes people are quite scared to ask those simple questions, I think. Okay, guys, we haven't got much time left, and I've got about 8 people here lined up for questions. So number one question from each person, please. And I'm going to move quite quickly through. So Machiavelli, here. Are you here? It says you're here, Machiavelli. No. Moving on to Hiker. Hiker, are you there? Hey, man. What's your question?
Thank you very much for this event. I want to ask a question about Alpaca. I want to lend my assets on Alpaca, and I want to know, is there any risk for a lender on Alpaca, and if it's yes, what's your solution? What's your migration for any of the risks for a lender?
Okay, the risk for lending. The risk for lending is timing in return of assets, which I say will be very minimum, because like you lend your token and then the borrower can borrow your token. We didn't limit the time. How long can the borrower want to borrow this token? They can want to borrow it like for 1 month, 3 months, or even 1 year. So while you lending this token, and if this borrower didn't return your token while you need it, that is the risk of it. So I would say like a timing. But to mitigate this kind of risk, we have deployed triple slope interest rate models, which is when the utilization rate is high, the interest rate will be high, borrowing interest will be high, so it will trigger the borrowers to give back their token as soon as possible, and we also will interest the lending rate, which will trigger people to lend their token as well. So with this kind of interest slope, it has mathematically proven to really minimize the risk of the lending itself.
Great question. I hope the answer was good for you. Towhid, you've been here a while, man. I'm very sorry. What's your question?
Thank you, Ian. And I was just wanted to asking about investors and how many investors that you have now.
User? Sorry, are you asking what our user?
He's asking about investors,
No.
Diane. So I think
Investors.
you're talking about the investors are into the platform, so the kind of VCs, who's backing Alpaca Finance. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, thank you.
Our investor.
Yeah.
Okay, for institutional investor, we haven't really disclosed about it. I think we will disclose more in the future when our structure product is launched.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to take a couple more questions. So who's been waiting? Ethone, are you there?
Yes.
Go ahead, man.
Hello, everyone. Can we ask you then if can we put NFTs at staking on Alpaca, or maybe to borrow with NFTs?
We don't have such plan for now. Our plan for
Maybe in
NFT is
future?
for now our plan is to integrate extra leverage. So if you have LPs, you can increase leverage up to 50%. But in terms of staking the NFT, we don't have such plan yet for the finance platform.
Okay, thank you very much.
Question. All right, last question. I'm going to close my eyes and move my mouse around, and I'm going to land on Ukamika. Are you there? Ooh, unlucky. Block bills. No. Sky Blue. Yo, how you doing? What's your question?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks, man. Hey, Dan. I've got two questions. I think the number one was already answered on the NFT staking, but you did mention that there is a 1.5 times leverage that we can use on the Alpaca NFTs. And is there any a mechanism where this leverage percentage can be increased beyond 1.5%, depending on the on the credit or the amount that is staked? That's number one. And number two, we did talk about the availability of cross chains. At the moment, it's BSC and it's going to be in Phantom in future. If for the staked asset X Alpaca, how can we move this wrapped X Alpaca to other chains? In other words, is it liquid asset to be moved across different chains?
Questions.
Okay. Okay, I'll answer about the NFT first. No, for the increase of the leverage maximum is 50%. we are not going to increase more than that because with very high leverage, people tend to max the leverage. And the reason why we didn't want to really have a very high leverage is because it can becoming pretty risky if people use a very high leverage, and once they get liquidated, and then people will feel wary about it, and so not feel very much comfortable in using leverage anymore. So that's why for the time being, we are only considering increasing the leverage up to 50%, regardless of amount of capital that you put into. And for your second question, was that your question whether Alpaca can be used in Phantom as well?
Yes.
Yes, we are going to bridge it. The bridge is there already. Is being built. Yeah, it's there already. So you can bridge Alpaca into Phantom.
Okay. All right, Diane. You may be happy to hear we're at the end of the session, but I think personally you did an amazing job there. This Alpaca Finance is not an easy app to understand, and it's also not the most simple of platforms. I think you've done an amazing job of basically explaining how it works, what it does, how it can benefit people, and also and kind of breaking it down in a really great way. Your knowledge levels are off the charts. Very jealous. I, as a person who also works in this space, knows to retain that amount of information inside your head requires a lot of ability. So Diane, my hat goes off to you. Great answers. And thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. One thing I'm going to say, I have probably got another 20 or 30 questions here lined up for you. What I'm going to say to everybody listening is head over to the Alpaca Discord. Diane will be there, I think. And if not, there'll be people on hand able to answer all of these questions. They want to answer your questions. They love to get your questions. So head over to the Alpaca Discord, join in and ask all the questions that you have. Diane, I myself have about another 20 questions, but we're going to have to wait. I'm going to have to invite you back and we're going to have to talk again, I think, maybe in 6 months' time. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you. If you want to just, I'll hand the microphone over to you for a second. Give a shout out to all the listeners. We've got nearly 300 people listening today. It's been really cool. Thank you everyone for tuning in. As I said at the beginning, it's great to see all your NFT avatars out there as well. That is awesome. So people who ask questions, we've got 10 NFTs provided by Alpaca Finance. Cornelia is out there in the audience. She's been keeping a track of all the questions asked. She'll hand all that over to Diane, and they will decide who is awarded with these NFTs. And they will be delivered to you very soon. So once again, Diane, thank you so much for your time and your energy. It's been great. I hope everybody today has learned something. And on that note,
thank you.
No worries. It's been awesome, Diane, definitely. So tomorrow night we have another AMA. As I said at the beginning, Boris and the research team are basically going to go through the latest industry DApp report. So January is at an end. We know what's happening. NFTs are pumping. DeFi is coming back to life. Lots of interesting insight to come tomorrow. So UTC 4 p.m. on Discord. And they'll be chatting all about that and looking at how NFTs have reached 15 billion in trading volume in January alone. Once again, thank you, everybody. It's been great. And I'll see y'all next week. Thanks, Diane. Take care. I'll see you soon.